Good morning, family. Welcome to our Sunday morning time of connection and devotion. It's our time to be together and to continue to expand our consciousness. And right now, in a world where there seems to be so much contraction and distraction, a little bit of chaos, concern, fear, torment for some, I think now is the time for us to press into the principles that we've learned around stillness and peace and calm, and remembering that our stillness and our peace and our calm, it doesn't come from anything external, that this is an internal work. As Sadhguru would call it, this is inner engineering. I like to say it's architecting your life in the way that you want to live. You have within you that power and that greatness. And so today I want us to yet again continue in our series, The Great Emergence, and specifically this month of January, Arrival, and what it means to arrive, to be present, to be within this body. I have had so many conversations with people even this week about what it is to go from a belief system that is cerebral, a belief system that is in the mind, to a settled system within the body. In other words, let me remind us of what we talked about a little bit toward the end of last year, the middle of summer to the end of last year, when we talked about embodying these truths, that this was about integration and activation of our individuation, as Carl Jung called it. And individuation is just locating the truth of who you are. It's being able to come into full contact with the truth of your divine nature, your human nature, to be able to integrate all of it, gathering in even the shadow, because the shadow often has been misjudged, often not approved of, because so many have felt like it has to be something that we overcome or that we conquer. And the truth is there's nothing to overcome or to conquer. It's just to integrate it all into the loving awareness. And when we do that, then we're more at peace with our own selves. We're not at war in our own minds. And as a result of that, we start to settle ourselves into this nervous system that we have, the body, the senses, and our psychology, our physiology, and our spirituality merge. And this is what causes, what I personally believe, the great emergence. And so this is really what I mean by it. It's not some kind of a big, mysterious approach, honestly, this year. It's a much more methodical approach. Because I think for a long time, we've thought that when I talk about divine nature and your divinity, that I'm being a super spiritual, right? Really what I'm doing is saying, let's activate the part of you that knows you do not have to settle for limited life and limited way of thinking and believing. All of us were given a set of beliefs. Most of the time they were given to us because the people in our lives, for the most part, were trying to keep us safe. They weren't maliciously encoding within us limitation and fear and a lack of peace, a lack of trust or self-trust. Many of them thought they were carrying on some proper belief systems to help you to navigate this life. But often what was given to us was fear and limitation. Religion has done this. Political systems have done this. Religious systems have done this. Not on purpose, but most of the time it's been tradition, traded down beliefs passed on to us so that we could survive within the tribe and in some way succeed in the system that had been given to us. But I believe we are awakening in this time. I believe there's a group of people awakening during this season that are saying, hey, listen, we don't have to settle for the way the system is built. There are people who built these systems, and there's a new rising group of people who are saying that system is broken, and we're ready to build something fresh and something new. Today, in the third session or module, if you will, of this series, I would like to talk to us a little bit today about the art of not trying to be at peace. In other words, stop trying to be at peace. The core message of today is that peace is not something that we achieve or that you can achieve. Peace is what remains when resistance softens, when I let go of resisting what is and I'm able to be with what is, there's a sense of peace that happens, because peace is not a mood, it's not a personality trait, and it's not a spiritual talent that you can somehow hone or somebody can install in you. Peace, at the end of the day, is inner alignment. It's when the inner world stops fighting within its own self and you're settled into the truth of your beingness. And this is a part of the process of arriving. I think this is what Jesus, Yeshua ben Joseph, meant when he said, "My peace I leave with you." It's not the peace of the world, is what he was saying, but my peace. And then we find from the other writers that this is a peace that passes intellectual understanding. And let that peace guard your heart. And essentially, I like to say, let that peace hold your heart. And that is the peace of God that passes our intellectual and conceptual ideas. That's what it means to pass all understanding or all intellectual knowing. And so it's when we come into alignment within ourself that we begin to live in this peaceful awareness. So the number one thing I'd like to look at today, I have several things I'd like to look at, but one is what's wrong with trying? Let's go through that. So what is so wrong with trying to be at peace? Well, trying, first, here's the first thing. Trying implies that you're fighting what is already here. In other words, I'm trying to almost ignore what I'm experiencing and the feelings within the body, and I'm fighting what's happening, and I'm fighting to get to my peace. Also, trying assumes that what's happening should not be happening. Both are bypassing what's actually occurring. This is one of the reasons that I think the writer of Hebrews, some scholars think it was Paul and others think it was not, says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. Right here, right now, in this present moment, this is not happening to me. This is either happening, life is happening through me, it's happening for me, or it's simply just happening and I happen to be in proximity with it. But the inner argument creates that inner violence and that internal pressure that brings on a lack of peace. Metaphysical principles teach us this, that what you resist will ultimately persist. And I like to say, and I think this is Bishop D.E. that said this first, what you fight, you ignite. Or what you fight, you feed. And so it's going to grow stronger and stronger. Many people call it peace, but it's actually control dressed up in spiritual talk. When you're resisting it, you're giving it your energy. Now, when people say, are you saying you shouldn't defend yourself if you're being attacked? Let's don't go there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about psychologically. I'm talking about even sometimes physically, but spiritually, resisting what you're seeing happen in the world often gives it your energy. It's going within so that you don't go without. It's recognizing that the ability to be with what is as it is, rather than trying to always change it to fit a particular narrative. Eckhart Tolle, I believe, is the one who many times I've heard him say this, and I don't know. I'm sure he picked this up from some realm of philosophy, more than likely out of the Eastern thought, that basically all suffering can be traced back to me wanting things to be different than they actually are. Instead of being with what is, I'm always looking for next. And if it doesn't fit the way that I thought it should appear, then I'm trying to change it and shift it. And the truth is that that's control dressed up as spirituality. That I'm trying to be at peace. I'm praying for the peace that passes all understanding. I'm singing for it. I'm going to fast for it. God, please give me peace. Peace comes from the inside. It's never going to come from a God externally. And it's tapping into that inner alignment and being able to look at what's occurring and saying, I'm not a victim of circumstances in this situation. And I know that what is happening ultimately is going to work out for my highest good, period. So I'm at peace with what is occurring, and I'm going to watch it continue to unfold. Many of us lose our mind over a circumstance or a situation before we've ever even seen the full unfoldment. And sometimes the things that have occurred in our lives that looked like curses at the end became a bigger blessing than anything we could have drawn up on our own. Because the universe really does know pretty good about what it's doing. It knows what it's doing. So being at peace with what is. Number two, peace requires emotional honesty. And this is something we've been talking about really since the first of the year. Because instead of bypassing spiritually what we're experiencing, I'm asking us to become more honest. That it's okay to say, I'm not feeling at optimum today. I'm feeling the stress and the strain of what's happening in the world. I'm experiencing it. But to be able to acknowledge it, to name it, gives you the ability to somewhat claim it, and then to possibly manage it within your being. Bishop Pearson used to talk about notice the change, be with the change, learn to manage the change, but change is inevitable. That's why he used to sing the song, everything must change. Nothing stays the same. When you know that that is the art of life and that's the activity and the rhythm of life, then you're able to be with the change instead of trying to shift it always. But peace requires emotional honesty. Peace is not absence of emotions. Peace is the absence of self-abandonment during whatever the emotion or commotion may be. In other words, you can feel anger, you can feel grief, fear, and still be anchored in your beingness and in the truth of who you are. What disturbs us is not emotions. What disturbs us is the belief that the emotion shouldn't be there. Many of us have thought that anger is a bad emotion, and I've come to tell you it's not. There's a line that in that Jason Mraz song that we do at First Unity often, where we say, and we've done it here in One Love and First Unity. I've sung it for a long time. Look for the good in everything. And there's a line in there that says everybody gets mad sometimes, and maybe they should. There is a moment and a time to be angry, and it's not a bad emotion. But what disturbs us is not the emotion. What disturbs us is our belief that the emotion shouldn't be there. You see, the inner war happens when we split ourselves. The part that feels and the part that polices. Peace begins with wholeness, back to integration and activation, bringing it all in together and welcoming it into the highest truth. So that inner war will start to settle in your life when you stop splitting yourself into feelings and policies and policing, right? You come into a place of wholeness. Number three, acceptance, because some people will say, well, I'm just not going to accept that. I'm not going to accept what's happening. That's fine. I'm not saying that everything that happens in your life is happening necessarily for a reason, but you are the reason within it. You are the reasoning and the seasoning for it. Acceptance is not necessarily agreement. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It doesn't mean that you like it. It doesn't mean that you're going to tolerate injustice. That's not what I'm saying either. Acceptance means you stop denying and you name what's real. Can I say that again? Acceptance doesn't mean approving, liking, or tolerating injustice. Acceptance means stopping denial and naming what's real. Dr. Michael Beckwith says on the regular that one of the most important prayers that we will pray is, Holy Presence or Great Spirit, whatever you want to call it, Source, show me in this situation what is actually real. See, the thing is, we're not going to ever be able to heal what we won't acknowledge. I used to say we won't heal what we can't acknowledge. The truth is that we won't heal what we won't acknowledge. You can't transform what you're unwilling to face. And the way we're going to transform and transcend is to be able, to be with it, to face it, and then be able to effectively change it. See, denial isn't positivity, it's division. Denial is not positivity, it's division. A divided consciousness cannot manifest wholeness. And so it reminds me, excuse me again, folks, it reminds me of when Albert Einstein said that you're not going to be able to solve a problem with the same consciousness that created the problem. And so being in denial about it is not going to help me rise above and to activate my creativity and my imagination in order to work on the issue. I have to be able to truly first see what it is, what it really is, and then activate my imagination and my creation ability so that I'm able to work on it. But a divided consciousness is not going to manifest wholeness. Number 4, the nervous system, it doesn't trust peace. The nervous system doesn't trust peace. Stay with me now. This is the polyvagal system within the body. Peace is not merely spiritual. Peace is psychological safety. So the nervous system doesn't trust peace. This is a polyvagal system work that we're doing because peace is psychological safety. A dysregulated nervous system scans calm as danger because calm preceded chaos. Calm meant vulnerability. Calm meant abandonment. But through the polyvagal lens, we see that threat, fight, flight, overwhelm leads to shutdown, safety, ventral regulation, connected, openness, groundedness. Inner judgment feels like threat. But peace begins when the body receives permission. You are not allowed to feel this. It is dysregulating your being. That judgment is causing the nervous system to not trust peace in your life. And so that dysregulated system is scanning and it looks at calm and thinks calm is always what precedes chaos. So I'm going to have chaos if I end up having calm, so it doesn't trust it. Calm means I have to be vulnerable. And I'm afraid of being vulnerable because I haven't given myself enough time to heal and a sense of safety. And that calm means in some way that I'm going to be abandoned. So that threat creates that fight, flight, and freeze response. Overwhelm causes us to shut down. And then safety only occurs when the ventral regulation happens, and that is connection, that's openness, that's a sense of groundedness. But that inner judgment of ourselves feels like threat. And so peace begins in our life when the body receives permission. Number 5, there's a difference in control and presence. Control tightens. I hear people on a regular say, I need to learn how to control my emotions. Good luck with that. Because your emotions are not meant to be tamed. They're not meant to be conquered. They're not meant to be strapped down or chained. There's no such thing as control over your emotions or even controlling your thoughts, because control tightens, restricts, constricts, stresses, but presence opens. See the difference? There's a difference in control and presence. Control tightens, presence opens. Control is I must manage myself so I don't fall apart, or I must control myself so I don't fall apart. Presence is I can meet myself so I can come home. Let me control myself so I don't fall apart. Presence is I can meet myself in this situation, no matter what the situation is. I'm here with me now so that I can come home to the truth of me. Peace isn't the result of control. Peace is the automatic byproduct of presence. When I can be present in the moment, that's the byproduct. Peace is the byproduct. Here's a new thought principle for you, or a couple of them. You are not here to control your life. You are here to cooperate with life. Cooperate, to be in operation as a cohort with the power and the energy and the magic of life. So I'm not here to control my life. Pat yourself on the chest and say, I'm not here to control my life. I'm here to cooperate with life. This is why Jesus could say so confidently, I have come that you might have life and have it more abundant. This is why he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He was really saying, my way is the way. And he wasn't saying that from a religious standpoint of you need to choose this way in order to go to heaven. He was not telling us to go anywhere other than within. He was saying, this is the way toward peace. This is the way toward joy. This is the way toward love. I'd like to be able to walk with you down that pathway, and not in a way of controlling. See, religion needs to control. Spirituality invites us into cooperation with life. And that is the difference. It's a huge difference. Now, here's a little tie-in to kind of like tighten this up. Arrival equals not abandoning yourself. Too often we've abandoned ourselves. Too often we haven't known our true self, period. But too often we've abandoned ourselves. We've put everyone else's feelings above ours, and we've said that my feelings don't matter as much. Arrival is not abandoning yourself. Arrival equals meeting reality without self-violence, without violating my own authenticity, my own integrity, and who I really am. And arrival is letting what's true be true without collapse. Being with what is as it is without collapsing. Now, I would like to invite you into these thoughts to bring this message to a conclusion. I'm asking us during this season to release pressure to perform peace, to let go of the pressure for peace to be a performance. I'm asking you to let peace arise naturally through honesty and through self-belonging. To thine own self be true. Salvation, the salve that is put on the heart wound by the divine, brings us into healing and to a sense of belonging. And I'm inviting us to let peace rise naturally. I don't have to manufacture it when I'm being honest with myself and I'm telling myself that I belong. I'm asking us to remember that peace is not created. It's not something that we come up with. It's not a spiritual performance. That peace is simply allowed. I'm allowed because it already is. So the fruit of arrival is this: self-acceptance. I love me completely. I love the divine intelligence that I am, and the infinite intelligence is always flowing to me, through me, and for me, and as me. And I accept me totally. It's nervous system safety. In those spaces where your nervous system has told you not to go, stop going. Listen to your nerve, listen to your body, listen to your psyche, and stop putting yourself through that torture. The fruit of arrival is inner wholeness, that completely integrated and individuated beingness. And lastly, the fruit of arrival is grounded spiritual maturity. I'm not going to continue to try to create peace or to be at peace, because I recognize that the peace that passes all understanding is already within me. Most of us have exhausted ourselves trying to be peaceful, especially right now in this season. Seriously. We've tried to calm ourselves down. We've tried to stay centered. We've tried to rise above our emotions. We've tried to forgive before we're honest. We try to breathe away anger, grief, and frustration and fear. And then we feel like we're failing spiritually when peace doesn't stick. But the truth is that peace is not something to achieve. I'm not going to get extra points by forcing peace. Peace is something that remains when we let go of resistance. And we remind ourselves that peace is not a mood. Peace is frequency, it's vibration. Peace is not a personality trait. Peace is not spiritual talent. Peace is the state of inner alignment. It's the peace that I'm looking for and trying to find that peace is really when I let go of trying to get rid of discomfort. I let go of bypassing grief. I let go of silencing anger. And I stop avoiding the truth. I land in honesty. So let this peace that passes all understanding start to guard your heart, even in the midst of the circumstances that we're experiencing in our world currently. You don't have to control your life. In fact, you can't control your life. So I would suggest not trying. Let go, as the saying goes in the recovery movement, and let God, that God vibration within you. So today I invite you to release the pressure to be peaceful, to let peace find you instead, to let it emerge when you stop fighting your own experiences. You're not doing it wrong. You are learning a deeper way. Peace is not something that you are ever going to create. It's something that we allow. So may you stop abandoning yourself. Once again, may you stop policing your emotions. May you stop demanding that your humanity be quieter than your spirituality. Let them sing at the same volume. May you arrive in your own body again. May you come home to your own nervous system, truly home. And may you learn that beautiful, what I call a holy art of letting what's true be true. And may peace rise, not as performance, but as the natural unfolding and the natural fruit of belonging to yourself. You deserve to be at peace, and you deserve to have this peace that passes your understanding. Let that peace this week guard your heart, and do so through self-love and belonging. Of all of the people and the living creatures and creations on the planet, deserving of kindness and compassion and love and joy and peace, you are the one of all. Muji said it this way, and I'll close with this. He said, "It is not my job to create peace in the world, but it is my invitation to be at peace within me. And when I am at peace within me, the rest of the world is just a little more peaceful because I'm in the world." So let that peace, that prince and princess of peace, guard your heart as we go throughout the rest of this week. Thank you, friends. Excuse me, for being here. I'm going to encourage those of you who don't normally watch our devotional service at First Unity, or our celebration service at First Unity Spiritual Campus. I'm going to encourage you to consider tuning into that today. We're doing a special service, a special dedication of our music team, and I'm going to invite you to consider being a part of that today. All right, friends, I'm going to get up out of here now. Go and make it a great day just because you can. Peace. Loved ones, thank you so much for joining us today for our devotional service. The ways to give are on the screen right now. You can, of course, text to give. You can utilize our app. You can also go to firstunity.org/give. And on that page, you can actually decide to become an auto giver. That's really what it takes to become a sustaining partner to this ministry. If you believe in what we're doing here, I'm asking you to consider supporting the light that currently is and seeding that light for the future. We continue with our ways to give by offering our P.O. Box, our Cash App, and our QR code for you to scan on the screen. So I want to say a special thank you to everyone who has chosen this community to be a place where you want to give your financial seed. Know that when you're planting that seed, it is going into fertile soil, and you activate the law of circulation in your life. God bless you.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. It begins with me. I am peace. Let that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. It begins with me. I am peace. 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 To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun.